And I want to add something, because taking action is so important, even when it can be the wrong action, because provide you with feedback. When you keep everything on your mind, you don't have any feedback. It's only you are surrounded by your thoughts, but you don't have any feedback from the environment. You don't know the thing will be good in practice or not. So action is important, but action also not only help you overcome feedback, but also generate motivation. Some people want to be motivated and then take action. And I feel that it's the opposite. You take action and you become motivated.
Fear stops us from achieving our true greatness. Are you a professional woman who is feeling stuck, unmotivated, or burned out? Are you worried about your wellness? Are you letting fear stop you from crushing your goals? If you answered yes to any or all of these, then this is the podcast for you. Dr. Charmaine Gregory, night shift emergency physician, burnout thriver, and wellness champion, along with everyday heroes just like you, will explore how to face fear in our lives and emerge victoriously.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified when the next video comes out. It only takes 2 seconds to make 2 clicks. So let's do it. Let's get back to the video. Hello, Fearless Freedom Tribe. This is Dr. G, and we are back for another exciting episode of the Fearless Freedom with Dr. G podcast. Today, we have Bruno Cignacco, and he's going to talk to us about himself and all the amazing things that he's up to. Take it away, Bruno.
Thank you for your invite. Well, I want to introduce myself briefly. I am a lecturer at university here in the UK. I'm also a researcher on business topics and a consultant on business topics for nearly 25 years. And also I'm the author of different books. My latest book we can talk about, if you are agreeing on this, is titled The Art of Compassionate Business. That is a book that tries to gather important things such as empathy, compassion, care, and also profitability.
Awesome. So it sounds like there's tons of things for us to talk about today, which I'm very excited about. So tell us, you do not have a British accent, okay? So of course, we're curious about where's that accent from?
Yes, I'm Italian Argentinian. So I was born in Argentina, in the city of Rosario, and also my grandparents are from Italy, and I speak Italian, Spanish, and also, well, I'm living in London here. I have been living here for nearly 12 years, but also I have been working over the world for a while. So it's a mix of accents. So I would say it's a mix of Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, a mix of everything, but my roots are in Argentina and Italy.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, because I was like, I'm not going to guess. I was just going to ask you because that's better. And your answer is way better than what I would have guessed anyway. So that's perfect. So tell us, how did you end up in the UK? How did you end up there?
Before coming to the UK, I was living in Portugal for 1 year in Lisbon, and I was working as a consultant also and as a lecturer. And I found that this is a very tiny but very friendly country, but I found that UK is a bigger market with more possibilities, especially for my specialism, that is international marketing and social business. And I found that there is an important field of opportunities here, and I feel very welcome here. Since I have arrived here, I felt that people are very friendly. So I'm very happy. I'm living in London now, on the outskirts of London, and it's a very interesting environment, interesting market, and also a lot of diversity and new ideas continually unfolding.
Oh, fantastic. And then, so did you do all of your initial work in Argentina then, or
Argentina, yes. And
okay.
A brief comment about my story, professional story. I started working as an accountant. I'm an accountant doing the basic, I would say, a bit boring things like taxes and also auditing and also income statement and balance sheet. But also then start developing some other activities more independently that are consultancy activities on international marketing, and then slowly, but in that case, I was advising companies on how to, for example, look for international buyers, or for example, how to negotiate with importers or exporters, or develop an international marketing strategy. I'm specialized in international marketing. But later on, in the last 10 years, I started doing other type of activities, especially research on traditional aspect of business, but also non-traditional aspect of business. We go beyond what we call business strategy, business tactics, and focus more on what we call the values or principles that underpin any business activities. And I call these values human-oriented values, and started a new consultancy company that is focused on delivering training on, for example, how to develop a better work environment, or for example, how to strengthen relationship with different stakeholders, such as supplier, customer, the community members, or how to practice mindfulness in the business environment. And this is very interesting because there are many companies that are intrigued about this. In some cases, they're a bit cautious, but I found a lot of very interesting, welcoming attitude in many companies. Other companies are much more cautious, and we started training companies here in the UK, but also abroad.
I see. Okay. No, that's fantastic. And then, so to go from, I find that fascinating that you went from, an accountant, and then you saw that this is a new avenue, and then you pursued that. Now, was there any fear involved in that? Did you have any fear or concerns about that transition?
Yes. Obviously, and I agree with you that there is always, in any transition, there could be some fears. The fears are generally fear to the unknown. For example, because I was doing the traditional accounting task for nearly 10 years, and starting gradually with new activity, which imply a different set of tools, business tools, and also contact with other international environment, more complex international complexities such as logistic, custom procedures, also different cultural environment, different legislation. This got me a bit cautious at the beginning, and also, I have to admit, a bit of fear. But what happened? I feel in my personal experience that the fear can be overcome through action, planning, action, feedback, learning from mistakes. And also, I have been very lucky to have, my first clients were very understanding. Also, some of my first clients were the ones that attending courses. I was training companies, and they were very interested in going internationally. And so we started with my first client the process of entering the international market together, me helping them, and then obviously putting their organizational infrastructure at my disposal. And obviously this fear that was at the beginning, and a bit of cautiousness, was overcome very easily through action, through continuous action, determination, learning from mistake, and flexibility. Being agile, being flexible was important. And I feel that many people are fearful. They keep on being fearful because they do not take action. Action, obviously, plan action whenever possible, but in some cases, it's important to take action and correct the action over the process.
Absolutely. No, I love it. It's that's definitely a very tried and true response to fear that's constructive versus, responding to fear where you don't do anything, because then obviously that is not the most constructive and it doesn't get you anywhere. So no, I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that that was how you pursue things,
And I want to add something, because taking action is so important, even when it can be the wrong action, because provide you with feedback. When you keep everything on your mind, you don't have any feedback. It's only you are surrounded by your thoughts, but you don't have any feedback from the environment. You don't know if the thing will be good in practice or not. So action is important, but action also not only help you overcome feedback, but also generate motivation. Some people want to be motivated and then take action. And I feel that it's the opposite. You take action and you become motivated.
Right. Yes, it's like a feedback loop that happens with that.
Yeah, feedback
Oh
loop,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. And then you've been doing this. You had some amazing first clients who are willing to kind of grow with you. And then where do you feel like you're now? Like now you have, you've expanded, you've moved, you've settled in UK.
Obviously, at the beginning, I was with clients that were obviously with very little experience. Now, obviously, as I grew up professionally, I started working with companies, medium-sized companies and big companies. And now I am in a stage in my life that I can also be more selective with the companies that I choose, and also being companies that also they are very well aligned with my values. Companies also that they have also a social and environmental approach, what we call sustainable companies. I try to look for companies that don't have only their heart on profit, but they look also for what we call the triple bottom line. They look for profit, but also benefiting community and other stakeholder, and also looking for the environment, being green. And so most of my clients now are aligned with these values of sustainability, care for the environment, care for the stakeholders. And also I can have a much more spare time also to continue with my research activities, also writing new books and so on. So I'm a much more calm and focused stage of my life, which allow me to be more selective, but also unfold as a professional in a much more meaningful way. So
That's awesome.
This is the current stage of my life.
Yes, that's great. That's great. It's good to be in that position where you're able to do things at a pace where you're able to also do the things you enjoy as well.
Without
not
being rushed.
Overwhelmed. Right. You're not overwhelmed or pushed or no. So that's good. Hey, it's Dr. G, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for listening to this episode. I'm so honored to have you here with me. Did you know that I can help you to get your own podcast started? With my podcasting launch course for professionals, I walk you through everything you need to know about starting a podcast. I'm with you every step of the way, from sign up to launching your show, with 5 episodes ready to go. There's a done for you version that's also available. If you would just rather just do recordings and leave the behind the scenes work up to us, then that one is definitely for you. But either way, we've got your back here at Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Oh, if you already have a show and you need production services, we have monthly plans available for you. So check out the links in the episode show notes for more information. Let's get back to the show.
And I give you an example. For example, one day a week, for example, Fridays, I do not work, and I devote the full day to my son that is 4 years old, and go to the park, and I enjoy natural environment. Even I could take up more work, I prefer not to take, because I know that this childhood stage will pass by very quickly. And so
it does.
I look for much more balanced stage of life, which includes not only work, but the family, and also the spare activities, leisure activities, and so on.
Yes, the time does go by very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it only one child you have?
I have only one child. Well, we never know that there will be another child coming, but for now it's one, and it's a lot of dedication and commitment, and also we are not only teaching this child a lot, but also we are learning a lot from him. And so I feel that this now is entering primary school, so it's always a challenge, but it's always very fulfilling, and very fulfilling as a person, but also as a parent. So I feel very, very grateful with life.
Oh yes, is it that? And that age is a really, really fun age. I mean, really, all the ages. Well, so far I have experience up to age 15, but all the ages they have a lot of that what you described, like you're giving to the child, but then the child is also giving back to you. So there's a lot of that. It just comes in different forms as they get older. I do remember like when my children were really young like that, it was a lot of fun to take them outside and like have them like discover things, and things that you may not see, they have an eye to see because of their mind being so open. So yeah, no, I'm happy to hear that you're making the time now, because you're right. The time does go quickly. Like you don't realize it, but before you know it, your child is an adult and you're like, well, how did this happen?
And
So
also the my child remind me of the importance of playfulness, because my child is always very full and very cheerful. And also we as adult people, I mentioned this also in my book, we get a bit boring and a bit bored because we leave aside a very important principle, I will call that, is playfulness of play. And it's so important not only to have fun, but also to develop our creative skills, to be much more focused, to be much more relaxed, less stressed. And I feel that every time that I take, for example, my child to a playground, we went today, for example, to a playground near here,
yeah,
our house, and this cheerfulness and this way of living life fully, intensely, remind me when I was a child, and also evoke me positive memories, and also put me in a very good frame of mind. Then that when I have to do an activity, professional activity, I'm much more sharp, much more focused, more relaxed, less stressed. So playfulness is key, not only for children, but also for adult people.
no, that's fantastic. Yeah, I agree. I think we should not forget to be playful, because it really does help us to have open minds and think outside the box, right? Because that's what children do. Children are not
Yeah,
limited by borders and boundaries like adults are. So, no, that's
I
fantastic.
agree. I agree. And also there is research on playfulness and creativity. There is a clear link between playfulness, adopting a playful attitude, and becoming more creative. Because people, when they act in a non-creative way, tend to be more rigid, less flexible, more structured, attached to the status quo, less experimental. Instead, the child is continually creative. Their whole life is creative. They're creating experiences, creating games out of the blue. And the
Yeah,
idea is that this type of attitude, according to research, is very useful to bring about, for example, in business, new products, new services, new ways of approaching customers, or in a profession, to connecting to others in a much more meaningful way, in a less rigid manner. Because I feel that in most of the work environment and business environment, people are always wearing a mask, very rigid, very solemn,
yeah,
and being more playful help us connect to others in a much more essential way, much more basic but meaningful way.
absolutely. No, I agree. It's a little tricky in medicine though, but you're right. It is definitely applicable for majority of workplaces and fields. Just helping us to be much more creative and expand what we have available, which is great. Just thinking outside the box. So tell us about so how, if somebody's listening and they're really, really, really like on the same wavelength as you are and they want to work with you, how does that happen?
If they want to work with me as a professional, well, they can check my website, is www.brunocignacco.com. They can contact me, then we can have a conversation. But the idea is that there should be a match. So it's not that they contact me and they will be working, but the idea is that, as I mentioned, I try to see that the company or the professional that want to work with me is aligned with this very basic principle that are, for example, caring for the environment, caring for the stakeholders. So, for example, being sustainable. This is the best way to know if the potential client could be a match with me or not. So this is they can find me also on LinkedIn, very easy. But the most important point to take into account whenever one want to contact me is if they have a focus that go beyond profits. This means, are we focusing on the environment? Are we focusing on stakeholder, the well-being of a stakeholder? If so, there is a potential match.
I see. And I'm just going to go ahead and spell your name because, you know, you showed me how to say it, but I don't think it's phonetically people be able to figure that out.
Okay, well, my name is Bruno, and the surname is C for Charlie, I for interest, G for gold, N for November, A for April, C for Charlie again, O for Oscar, and my website is brunocignacco.com.
Perfect. Thank you. I just know people are listening. They will be like, oh, and then they won't know how to find you. And I don't want that to happen. So, okay. All right. And then, so, tell us, is there anything that you're working on right now that you are feeling maybe some fear, angst towards? And how are you approaching that?
Yes. I'm a bit excited more than fearful, but obviously in some cases it can be mixed up. My second edition of the book, The Art of Compassionate Business, is coming in November, December. And I added a lot of things, a lot of examples of companies that are human-oriented in this book. And obviously this book will be launched here in the UK, London, but also worldwide. And they can find this book in any book platform, for example, Amazon or any bookshop worldwide. This is the most important example. Also, I will be giving talks about this here in the UK, but also abroad. And get me a bit, not fearful, but excited, and also a bit intrigued about the welcoming of this book in the audience. And I feel that I hope that this is a good contribution on my side. I gave my heart and my best. Hopefully this will be liked by the reader.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure it will be. I'm absolutely sure of that. All right. And so, this is it's a very interesting pathway that you've chosen. And I think it's needed, right? Because the human side of business is quite important to keep in mind and keep intact. Because obviously, with capitalism, you can get very caught up and you can forget about the human side, and it can get pretty ugly. So I am thankful that you are doing the work that you're doing, because I think that's necessary. So tell us, are you ready for our tradition on the show? This is a tradition where we fill in the blanks. Are you ready to fill in the blanks?
Okay.
All right. Fantastic.
I can fill the blanks.
All right. Awesome. All right. So the first one is, if I am fearless, I will
Connect to others in a meaningful way. If I am fearless, I will connect to others in a meaningful way, which means I will try to connect underpinning my connection on principles such as generosity, compassion, care, camaraderie, support, empathy. So all these people will help me connect in a much more meaningful way.
Love it. The next one is, to me, fearless freedom means.
Fearless freedom means using your imagination beyond the status quo, and also daring to take action, even when the territory ahead doesn't look very promising. Always acting in a faithful and hopeful way, because action generates feedback, and feedback generates more action, and this is a positive cycle.
Nice. And the last one is, my battle cry is.
Well, my battle cry is very simple, is try to do always things that you will not obviously think that they are with a positive impact, and think that you will not be ashamed of. So always do things that are meaningful, that are true to your core ideas, your core values, but also things that not only bring about a positive impact, but will avoid any negative impact on your close circle, but also on people you don't know that is around you.
Nice. Awesome. And then one more time, if you would, could you let everybody know how they can reach out to you?
Okay, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I have a big following. they can type my name, Bruno Cignacco with double C, or they can look my website, www.brunocignacco with double C.com. Or these are the main ways that you can find me. And also they check my books on Amazon, especially the last one that is the Art of Compassionate Business. And the second edition, wait for the second edition to come out, that is coming up soon. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out and spending it with the Fearless Freedom Tribe. We had a really good conversation, and I know that there are those who are listening who can connect with what you said and are going to go look you up. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you very much. I feel honored to be here. Thank you for your invite.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Again, I'm Dr. G. And if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified of when the next episode is going to be. And also, I'll catch you next time. Have a great one. Be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.